In a life full of disasters, insurance is a sort of consolation. Insurance policies in Britain cover millions of homes, cars, factories, offices, ships, and lives. Anything, or almost anything, is insurable, and the British insurance industry is large, efficient, and powerful. The boardrooms are baronial. It has a long history, and companies are proud of their origin, sometimes to the point of obsession. They have the same heavy dignity as banks, which they often resemble, with their marble and dark wood and painful respectability. It's a bit like being in a cathedral. The staircase at the Pearl Assurance Company includes balustrades of Pavanazzo marble from Italy, dark green dados in Tinos marble, and brown dado cappings in Levanto. It isn't all old and rare. The personalities of the 400 insurance companies in Britain are everything from aristocratic to suburban. Royal Exchange Assurance, next door to the Bank of England, was founded in 1720. Fewer than half of the 25 members of the board are plain Mr., and some of those are fairly distinguished Misters. The titles run to His Grace the Duke of Rutland, the Earl of Inchcape, 4 viscounts, 2 barons, a baronet, and 4 knights. A mile away in Holborn is the Pearl, founded in 1864, but considerably larger than Royal Exchange. The tradition here is more plebeian. P. J. Foley, Esquire, Managing Director, 1864 to 1908. F. T. Bowles, J.P., Joint Managing Director, 1908 to 1916. G. Shrubsall, Esquire, J.P., Managing Director, 1908 to 1927. Today, the Pearl has 9 directors, 1 Sir, and 8 Misters. One of them came from another company. The other 8 began at the Pearl as clerks or agents and worked their way up. What all the insurance companies share is the responsibility for large sums of money, which they invest in the stock market and in property. In a year, more than £1,000 million is paid to them in premiums for policies insuring against fire, accident, and other hazards. Almost as much is paid in premiums for life insurance. After claims have been met, about £600 million is left to add each year to the astronomical total already invested. Some of the smaller insurance companies would find it difficult to manage at all without the return they get from their investments. And in all cases, skilled investment provides the jam on the bread for the companies and for their policyholders. It's a very influential industry. It spends a lot of money to ingratiate itself with the public and encourage people to buy more insurance, especially life insurance. For high, respectable reasons, the old business of maintaining public confidence, the life insurance companies are allowed to conceal the size of their reserves, so no one knows how much money the companies have. But there's an embarrassing amount of it, invested in shares and in property. One of the leaders of this embarrassed industry is D.J.R. Evans, chairman of the British Insurance Association and general manager of the Phoenix Assurance Company.
Because of it. Well, they know that our funds are large, our premium income is large, and if they have requirements in the way of finance, one of the big sources of the insurance companies. Yes, they certainly come to the insurance companies for help.
Do you ever notice a particular attitude by people when they come to you, cap in hand, as it were, seeking large sums of money?
Yes, I think they come, first of all, at least some of them do, with the feeling that they're entitled to the money. And then when the problem has been studied by investment managers and experts, and they're told that there's not a suitable avenue for insurance finance, they get annoyed. They feel that they're being deprived of a right. Of course, there's no right at all. What we're doing is investing our policyholders' money, or money that accumulates on behalf of the shareholders, in ventures which we want to be satisfied are perfectly sound and viable.
What kind of ventures do people bring to you? Can you give me some examples of the kind of venture needing large sums of money that outsiders bring to an insurance company?
Well, the main ones in recent years have been debenture issues to enable an industrial company to expand its plant, where it wants long-term finance, 20 years, and is prepared to pledge from the debentures its assets. There are property developers who have been acquiring sites and developing various types of buildings to the big office blocks. They're the main ones.
Insurance company money is sometimes lent for projects that might be held politically to be controversial, say speculative property development. Now, if this is true, may not an insurance company find itself in the position of having to say, well, yes, we did lend so-and-so the money, and yes, he did put up those buildings, and yes, we do think that perhaps it's a bit of a racket. Isn't this a risk? I mean, money, we all know, is sometimes spent on property development that is made a political target. Doesn't an insurance company have to safeguard itself against becoming involved in something political?
Yes, well, it depends what is essential. And if, having satisfied through all the tests that an investment proposition is sound and will be economically self-supporting, surely it must be essential. In other words, the building would be occupied for whatever purpose it's put up and produce a satisfactory return. So the occupants of that building will be carrying on a satisfactory and profitable business.
Is this a matter about which there is much heart-searching within the industry, or is it a matter, in fact, on which people are quite agreed in insurance that, you know, a good and reasonable...
Well, certainly no heart-searching at all. I think all our consciences are clear, but in view of a certain amount of publicity to a particular case in recent months, naturally that will be kept in mind when looking at any investment proposition which might seem to have that flavour about it.
You mean the Rackman case?
Yes, I was referring indirectly to that.
Yes.
Apart from property, as much as 10 or 15% of everything invested in the stock exchange may be insurance money.